Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining my review of Love After Lockup, Season 5, Episode 37, Love Me Not. Okay, so let's get into this. First up is Shante and True. So we see True driving to see Shante. I believe it was like a 5-hour drive. He says he's always wanted twins. He is ready to get his girl back. It's been 3 months since he has seen her. He does regret the breakup. He says he was just getting out of prison and on his high of being out. He tells us that Shante doesn't want him to have anything to do with the kids that she's carrying. He hopes to also have a cookout with Shante because they were supposed to do that, when he got out. He says he took culinary arts while he was in prison, and his chef name was Chef Extra. He's a real want to be a comedian. So their plan together was to open up a restaurant. Next, we see him at the grocery store so that he can pick up, a few items to cook for Shante. He gets ready to check out and is having some difficulties because he's not used to the new checkout services, the self checkouts. And so the store employee does assist him. And, he talks about the prices and things like that has gone up and everything. So he does tell the producers, I think they asked him about his finances, and he did tell them he's been stacking his money by going to the casino and gambling. However, he was not interested in telling them how much he has saved up. So I just don't think that that's a good idea either. I wouldn't marry somebody that's gambling because you just don't know where your money is going to be, if your money is going to be in the account. I mean, that's just the negative for me. So, but I'm sure she doesn't care. So he's off to Shantae's house because he wants to prove that he can be a good father and he wants to bond with her. So this visit is very important. He arrives to Shantae's house, knocks on the door, and she acts like she don't want to see him. She finally lets him in and he asks if he can give her a hug. And she was like, no, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. He tells her he wants to have a cook-off. And she says she doesn't want to have no cook-off. But he was like, she said, you can cook. True says he didn't come just to cook, but to talk to her. He does apologize to her and says that he wants to get back good with her, he says. True says that's good, but all talk. And she wants to see the action behind it. Basically, time will tell. So Shante then asked True while they were broken up, did he have anyone in his life? And True says yes, but it's over because he realized he wanted her. I don't know about that, True. I don't know about that. I don't know if I believe that. I don't believe that. True says that he's a better person with Shante in it. Later Shante tastes the omelet he made. I think it was a steak and cheese omelet that he made. So she tasted it and she laughed and said that that's not your best meal. But he was excited just to get a laugh out of her. So to him, it was a win-win. Then she goes on to say that you can stay overnight, but you gotta sleep on the couch. And again, I'm side-eyeing like, sure. I'm sure he crept up to the bedroom later that evening. So onward and upward. Next we go to Zariah and Troy. Woosah. So this segment, we see Troy ask his mom if she is okay. So they're all three at Zariah's apartment. Troy asks his mom if she's okay, and she says she is fine. And his mom is like, "Don't worry about me, worry about her," meaning Zariah. So he asks his wife if she is still nervous about going to Buffalo. She says yes, and he wants to know why is she nervous. She says, because I'm going to a place where nobody likes me. And then she says the past couple of days has been a lot. Well, actually, she's talking to the producers next, and she's saying the last past couple of days has been a lot with Troy's mom, Karen, staying with them. And so this is my issue with her saying that, but she is the one that invited her to stay with them. So I'm confused as to why she is upset about that. I don't understand that. You're the one that he didn't even, if you think about it, he is the one that told her he was not ready to kind of make things right with his mom yet. He got out the first day he was released. Yeah, and then day 2 is the day that she planned for them to go for him to pick up his mom at the train station. So this particular day, they are on their way to Troy's baby mama. I believe her name is Yana, and they would be going to visit his daughter, and she's not sure how that will go. She feels like something bad will happen, so she is preparing either way. She is giving so much attitude. I do not know why. She is he said he's already talked to his daughter's mom to pretty much be on her best behavior, and Zariah doesn't see the point of needing to go. She says it's not she says that it's about your daughter and not about her. Troy says he asked his daughter if she wants to meet Zariah, and he says that his daughter said yes, she does want to meet Zariah. And Zariah says she's not going to be, she doesn't want to put the daughter in an awkward situation either. Now, I do agree with that, but I guess I don't know why you're going to assuming there's going to be somebody popping off. So I don't know, but I guess it could be an awkward situation just because the mother may want to be rude or something like that. So I get that a little bit. But so Troy says, "Do you want to stay at my mother's house while I go visit her?" Now, Troy, I don't know if anyone else notices, but Troy tries to be very patient and calm. He has been, from what they've showed us, he's been very patient and calm with her. And she's been just the nastiest she can be on all the episodes since she got, except for the first episode. I mean, she's been nasty ever since he got out, put it like that. So Troy is asking her if she wants to stay at his mother's house while he goes to visit his daughter. And Zariah says, you can do whatever you want to do. He even says he'll bring his daughter over to his mother's house so she can meet her. And Zariah says, I'm good. So it turns out that Troy was on the phone with his daughter's mom that morning. And apparently he didn't mention the call that morning that he had with the daughter's mom. So I think Zariah is coming from a place of, you didn't include me when it came to calling or speaking to her, meaning Yana, the baby's mom. So don't include her now. Petty. That's very petty. So while all this conversation is going on, Karen, the mother, who is still sitting in the living room, can hear everything. She begins to chime in and asks Zariah why she doesn't want to go with Troy. And Zariah says because she doesn't trust him talking to his daughter's mom. And then Zariah continues to tell Troy that she's not coming with him and to pack his stuff and get out. All of this is being said in front of Troy's mom. So it feels like she doesn't really want to be with him. The only time I've seen her show any interest or affection was the day he got out. And when they were in the hotel was still day one of his release. So I feel like she scheduled his mom coming day two so she didn't have to be intimate with him again. Remember, day two is when she scheduled for the mother to come, and for Troy to be gone, picking her up at the train station. And then day three, and so the mother, the Troy's mom, slept on the couch. That's still day two, and she caught herself being mad at Troy the day before, so she made when that was when they had that Chinese food, and the baby mom's name came up at the table. So Troy and his mother were on the couch. So she wasn't with him. So that was just day two. I thought that was very petty. We're talking day two. Why are you upset with him like that? And then day three, they were at church. So they all three went to church because it was so important that his mom meets her parents. Day three, it was that important. That important. Okay, I'm not buying that. So I'm just really, I don't know. She's just been really mean to him, and in front of his mom. Something is very off with her, and for me, the punishment doesn't fit the crime. So, she's also telling the producers that she feels like she keeps having to compromise on her feelings and compromising with Karen, who is Troy's mom, and she has to also compromise with the daughter's mom. And I'm like, you're the one that invited his mother. There's nothing he can do about, his daughter's mom, because they have to talk, because things are going on with the daughter, or they had to, get the schedule together. So he had to talk to the mom. I'm really not sure what she's talking about, nor why is she so angry. So Karen says, don't let one day ruin the marriage. And Zariah says, we can get divorced. Where the heck does that come from? Where does we can get divorced come from? I don't get it. Next we see, how do you get that from him having a phone conversation to figure out the schedule for the day, them meeting up, talking about the times and things like that? How do you get divorced from there? And just you always having a compromise about this, that, and the third. I don't get it. So they continue to kind of argue, and I'm talking about Troy and Zariah, mainly Zariah. As I stated, Troy has been very patient and pretty much kind, calm. So he really, to me, doesn't show a lot of anger on the outside. He's just been, to me, he's been very patient since he got out of jail. So I think he's just trying not to piss her off or anything like that. But it doesn't seem to be working. So he finally did decide to leave and take a walk. He was just tired of listening to Zariah, and all of us were tired of listening to Zariah go off about nothing. Troy's frustrated. You can hear him. He says he doesn't want the cameras following him or something like that, but he still has his mic on, so you can still hear him talking. He's frustrated. He doesn't kind of understand what's going on with Zariah. I don't know, but my opinion, like, there's no way this is just about the baby mama or visiting his daughter. This is way deeper than that. There's something either that we're not being shown, we're not being told about, but it's definitely more than just this baby mama visit. And they ain't even visiting the baby mama; he's visiting his daughter. So I don't understand it. Later, they go out, they try to find Troy. They did find Troy. No, they didn't find Troy, but the cameras were the producers were trying to calm Troy down. He was pretty upset. He's like, he didn't come out of prison to have to deal with all of this. And I agree. That day had to been, I believe, day 4 of his release. So I'm not sure how we got from being so excited and missing Troy to being so pissed off about him. And then um, I call it premeditated, plan all these things, I think, so that you don't have to spend that much time with Troy alone. I don't know what's going on. But later, Troy's mom, Karen, answers a call from Yana, who is the baby's mom. Troy's uh, uh, baby mama, Yana, says that she heard that Zariah has had a guy coming over. So they don't say how Yana knew this, but that's what they mentioned. And at that moment, I was like, that's what it is. She possibly could be seeing someone else. And probably has been seeing someone else maybe while he's been locked up. But because I'm telling you, nothing made sense. I'm like, oh no, there's no way she's upset. This upset. I think she wants him to be gone and out the home. I don't even think she wants to be with him. You know, you did see her holler earlier about, they can get a divorce or whatever. So, so excited to kind of see what they reveal to us next week. But I feel like that makes more sense that she is possibly seeing someone else. So next we have Hope and Arthur. This was triggering to me. I think that it was, I think just the mental health part of it was very triggering. And, I'm not going to lie, my heart kind of went out to Arthur. So yeah, let's get into this. So they are in the kitchen where Arthur is cooking for the first time on an electric stovetop. He said he's used to the one with the flames coming out. That's a gas stove. So, and then Hope tells him that, he was making breakfast, I believe. So Hope tells him she appreciates it, even though she cooked the day before and put a lot of effort in it. But he came home late. Arthur then apologized and says yes, he should have included her in his plans. Hope tells Arthur that she has a fun date planned to take him to a fabric store so that he can make some clothes because she already bought him a sewing machine. Next, we see them at the fabric store and he's taking it all in. He hasn't, seen all of these different types of fabrics that they have in the stores nowadays. Her sister calls and she excuses herself and takes the call in another area of the store. Her sister doesn't know he is out and she's not ready to tell her yet. So Arthur comes over to her and asks her who she's talking to. And she says, kind of, shushed him away. And he is pissed. He's like, he's a grown man. Ain't nobody going to be shushing him. And, he said it didn't make any sense. So she says, are you going to get anything now? He says he's pissed. And, he said, no, I'm good. At that point, he didn't want anything. So later we see Arthur and Hope back at the apartment or her condo. And then Hope wants to put together, she wants Arthur to put together a bookshelf she had bought. So Arthur tells Hope that, he was looking for some old sketches and his letters that he used to send her. And, he came across some envelope that had, or some mail that had some pictures of Hope and the other guy that she was kind of seeing while he was in prison. And, she kind of gets a real attitude, like, she responds with, well, it's just a picture, right? I mean, she's literally like looking dead ahead of him. It's just a picture, right? And she says, do you want me to throw it away? And Arthur just wants them to, he says he just wants them to have a healthy relationship with communication and trust. He says he doesn't have, right now, he doesn't have 100% trust in Hope, but because, she cheated on him while he was locked up, and she's hiding him from her family. So Hope doesn't feel like he's saying everything he really feels. She feels he's holding back. She wants them to get to a point of telling each other how they feel. And Arthur says he may still be institutionalized. He can't show how he feels in prison. He says, or they will, exploit you as soon as they see it. So, he says you can't show any emotions or weaknesses. You have to be stiff and cold, he said. And he keeps calling her bruh. And I was like, okay, well, you can start there with stop calling her bruh. So eventually he needs to, the more they talk, the more he starts to get in his head and his thoughts and whatever he's thinking about. And then he's like, he says he needs a moment. So what he does is leaves her apartment, and immediately, even though the cameras are at a distance, but he still is mic'd up, so you can still hear him crying. I just feel like, whatever he experienced was really bad, and he did call it PTSD. And I really feel like he needs to deal with his mental health. He needs to probably see a therapist. He might even need to be hospitalized for a small amount of time. He doesn't need to be in a relationship right now, because he is absolutely emotionally unavailable for her. Like, I think he should have went home to be around his family, to just get himself established in Arizona before jumping into a relationship. But I do know that a lot of times these ex inmates get with women because they financially can take care of them, because obviously they don't have jobs when they get out. They only have the money that they had, the prison gives them when they leave. So I don't know if it's just what they had when they came in there, or if it's additional funds as well. So I just feel like it was a bad idea for him to jump into a relationship. We then see him outside, and we see the producers talking to him, trying to calm him down. He's very emotional. They end up getting a hold of his mother, who then talks to him through the speakerphone. And at that point, Hope is outside as well, trying to help him calm down. She's trying to support him the best she can. But the only thing right now that is kind of helping him is his mother's voice talking to him. He did talk about some of the things it's hard to unsee a lot of the things that he's seen in prison. And he just felt like I felt like he looked like he was having a mental breakdown. He was kind of rocking in place, but he was like standing up, and he was kind of stepping side to side. And he was looking at her like, I don't know, like something, like he was possessed. He wouldn't hug her. I was sick of her asking him or telling him, "Oh, you're not gonna hug me. You're not gonna hug me." I'm like, girl, give him a moment. Like, he's having a breakdown. Give him a moment. I was glad the producers were there. They did mention at the end that they were getting him some mental help. He is certainly not ready to be in a relationship. He definitely needs to um, go back home, spend some time with his family, kind of learn them again. I understand financially it's going to be hard because he's not going to have a lot of money, but at least he's somewhere where he knows he's loved. He's gets to kind of get the relationship back with his siblings, and I just think that's the best place for him right now. But definitely not in a relationship. So I hope he got the help that he needed. It was very touching to see it all play out. If you saw it, let me know what your thoughts are. But it was very touching. I thought it was very touching. So, and my heart goes out to him. So I hope he gets the help that he needs. So next we have Bianca and Daniel. Okay, so it's one day until Daniel gets released. We see Bianca arrive in Arizona. She tells us that she loves her furnished apartment and says it's very challenging being alone and in another state. She also talks about how hot it is as well. And yeah, it's hot there. Later, Daniel calls and they talk about the living situation and if his parole officer will allow him to stay with her versus him having to report to the halfway house. Also, she's nervous to meet his parents, specifically the comment his dad made about how mentally stable she is. Next, we see Bianca on her way to meet Daniel's parents and his cousin Robert. They meet, and Daniel's mom says she sees herself in Bianca at that age, and that's why she's concerned because she was naive, just like Bianca's naive. And Bianca buys a drink, and Daniel's mom gets a non-alcoholic beverage because her husband, which is Daniel's father, doesn't drink. So her way of supporting him is by, not drinking in front of him. It looks like he's been sober for 5 months. So he's hoping Bianca will have an open mind when they speak. And, and the first thing the dad does is apologize for the awkward first question that he asked her about, is she mentally stable? So he said he was attempting to acquaint her with his really odd sense of humor. So she accepted it and she was glad he apologized. So they start talking about her drinking when Daniel is released. And she says she doesn't want to stop drinking. I think it would be very beneficial if she didn't drink around him. I don't know how he's going to stay sober or maintain his sobriety if she is drinking. It's like, putting someone in the that's an alcoholic um, in a bar. I mean, it's just not going to work. So, what I do think that it's not going to probably last long if Daniel is having to sit around and watch her drink. I think she's being super selfish. I think she doesn't realize that, just be a little bit supportive to him. I think that's the message that Daniel's mom is trying to relate to her without actually outright saying it. But because she's kind of hoping that she'll lead by example by not drinking in front of her husband, who is a recovering alcoholic, then maybe Bianca will see it and maybe she won't want to drink. But she didn't really get it. She still is drinking. She also told them that she does not want to have to stop drinking. I don't really understand it because I feel like she just had a really bad car accident with someone who was drinking, and she's dating a guy who is in jail because of his drinking, and she still doesn't see any reason to stop drinking. So I find that very unsettling to say the least. So we'll see how that goes. Next, we have Christine and Julian. Christine and Julian are at his home. They are on their way to meet and check in with her parole officer to find out the conditions of her parole, but the parole officer wasn't there, so they decide to go ahead and drive down there. Julian says he is currently paying for 2 lawyers for Christine, one for her twins who live with their dad, and one for her son who lives with her mom. I think that is really stupid. I think until she displays some consistency, getting a job, uh, staying sober, staying drug free, or whatever, I don't really see the point of paying for lawyers for her. I am very confused as to why he's doing that, until you see exactly how she's going to do while she's out. And once she maintains a level of consistency, then I would be open to kind of helping her out with an attorney as well. Julian has talked to her about how much of a financial strain he's in because of the, them only have a one income, which is his, and he does have kids too. So I get it. But it doesn't seem like she is interested in getting a job. I feel like she just wants him to take care of her. And that's exactly what it is. She just wants to be taken care of, and she really doesn't want to do anything. So I don't know, but I definitely would not have gotten any attorneys for her right now. So, but that's his fault. He got the attorneys, and that's his fault. So if he wants to complain about it. So there wasn't much about those two, so that was all I have. And now we have Letitia and Keith. Letitia is driving to another attorney to get a second opinion. As we know, she has anticipated an early release for her husband, who is incarcerated, but based off some law changes, she was told by the paralegal that the courts have appointed a public defender. And then recently, the public defender filed a motion for withdrawal from her husband's case, citing he doesn't believe any of the laws would apply to her husband. So the attorney takes a look, the new attorney that office that she's at, he takes a look at the paperwork she brought and says nothing in it says the law changed. He says what it says is he would like to obtain relief due to the change of the U.S. Sentencing Commission policy statement. So while the law didn't really change, their policy statement changed. He says the problem is her husband only has 8 months left, and all of this is really going to apply to men who get sentenced down the line. The attorney further told her that he doesn't think a public defender who used to be an inmate should be out here writing briefs and giving them to guys to get their hopes up. Kind of, yeah, makes sense. And he's just trying to profit off of, your hard times. So Letitia says the public defender sold her and her husband a dream, and in turn, they sold the dream to their families. No, I think you should have just waited altogether to find out if that was actually true. So next, Keith calls Letitia, and she updates him on the status of his early release. He takes it well. He doesn't like to bank on certain things, he said, and more so prefers to face reality and knowing what's up. So he, I get that he just wanted to know, like, is he going to have to ride out these last 8 months, or am I getting out? So he would have preferred to just know, okay, I'm going to have to ride these 8 months out. So Letitia gets home, and Keith's aunt is there babysitting or sitting with the daughter, the youngest daughter. And she gets bad news. She tells Letitia that the house that they are living in is being foreclosed and that she's going to have to move out. The owners haven't paid the mortgage in a year and a half. And yeah, that's not good news. So on top of that, seeing her husband for another 8 months, she's going to have to move as well. And moving sucks. I get it. I've done it many times. So Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. And on your way out, if you like this content, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll definitely talk to you later. All right, bye.